You're listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Okay, thanks for tuning in for another episode. I've got a real law of attraction story for you this time, not just a Harvey love story. Although I shouldn't say not just a Harvey love story. That might be the best possible episode I could publish. Anyway, I got a different story for you today, inspired by, well, my real life experience. But someone sent in a question asking about how to get someone to do something. So it was a savvy creator who knows, I know I'm not supposed to be dependent on the external for how I feel, but I got this thing going on, involves another person, and it really is hard to be loving life while this person is not doing what I want them to do. And, oh boy, could I relate. Look, the normal answer on that is, well, as long as you're attached, we know what's going to happen, because when you need something, universe is responding to your vibration of need, and it cannot give it. And we also know the spiel about how it's not really cool to try to force people to do something so that you'll feel better. In some circles, that's considered voodoo. I actually have a blog post called The Voodoo I Don't Do, which the link I send to people when they ask, can I help them get their ex-girlfriend back or get a certain guy or whatever. Like, yeah, there's a better approach to that. If you've got your heart set on this one particular person, there's a different coach who will help you with that. That's not me. Because here's what I say. Would you want me on the other side of that formula? Like, if there was someone you were not interested in, and say he hired the best law of attraction coach on the planet to get you in a relationship with him, how would you feel? That's what I say to them. And they're like, okay, can you recommend anyone? Okay, I cracked myself up. So that's the normal spiel. The normal spiel is you just got to open it up. Give universe a chance to deliver what you want in maybe something through an avenue that's an easier way. Okay, we all know that. And then there are times when it's personal. Okay, so I read this person's question and they shared details, and I was like, oh, hello, can I relate? Because what had happened to me recently was this. So I had a love interest I was interested in and having a great time with, and until I wasn't. Until he didn't talk to me as much as I like to be talked to. Oh my gosh. It just occurred to me. Oh! That not only has happened with 2 love interests in a row, might not be fair to say in a row, but also with another friend. Oh, didn't like that. Okay. So I have a client who's, I can relate. Okay. So, here's my situation. I'll talk about my situation and not anyone else's. I like this guy, and this guy's not talking to me the way I like to be talked to. Okay, he's not talking to me at all. This is part of how I feel connection and intimacy. It's through talking. And without that feeling of connection, hardly anything else works. Like, I got to feel a connection. If there's no connection, I don't even bother. What are we even doing here? There's nothing good's going to happen because you're not my guy. So this guy was not talking to me. And I said to him, okay, it might not be fair to blame his astrology, but I did notice that he had a lot of Scorpio in his chart, and this is not my first rendezvous with a Scorpio love interest who kind of holds their cards close to the vest. Oh, I don't like that. Look, I'm a coach. Before that, I worked in market research. Okay, for a couple years before I was in finance, I worked in market research. Can you see me? I'm talking all about, my sun is in the 8th house. Those of you who know astrology will know. The 8th house, it's the keywords for just traditional astrology is other people's money, transformation, it's secrets. I mean, it's a whole bunch of cool things. And that's where I like to play. I like to go. I also have a Scorpio moon. I want to take a deep, intense dive with someone. I want to know all the thoughts. I want to know all the feelings. Show it all to me. This is no time to be polite. I want to go all in. And this guy was not going all in. I had a fabulous, fabulous guy so many years ago. Oh, it was very early in my practice. Fabulous guy. Loved him dearly. And he would not open up to me. And I'm a coach for a living. You know why I do it for a living? Because I love it. I love getting intimate with people. Tell me everything. I want to hear all of it. I want to know everything in market research. I loved that work because I got to know things that not everyone knew. Okay. I'm saying it's a thing for me. It's a real thing. So this guy, I don't know what happened, but the talking wasn't like it was before. Like the talking he did to get in with me, it wasn't like that anymore. And I was like, FYI, word to the wise, you got to keep talking to me or nothing good's going to happen. Like I got to have lots of talking. And he just was not responding to that at all. So eventually I was like, so is this how it's going to be? 'Cause I'm basically saying this does not work for me and you're still doing it. So, I mean, what conclusion could I come to other than that you're not into this? Okay. That's where I was at with it. And, I finally was like, I don't know if I said swear words. I probably felt them, even if I didn't say them to myself. So, but I'm not using any in this episode because, I don't like to have to mark episodes explicit. But I probably had some. So, I decided, look, Jeanette, if you want to talk to someone, then talk to someone. There are plenty of people to talk to. Just because this guy is not talking to you doesn't mean there aren't a bazillion other people who you could talk to. So, and look, and I do this like every day for a living. I'm talking to people and I still want to talk to people, even when I'm done working with clients. So, I was sitting out on my back deck and I was like, who could I talk to? And I'm scrolling through my contacts. And that's when I was deleting. I had another episode where I was talking about how I deleted someone because I was like, well, I'm never going to talk to this guy again. I was talking to him hours later on the trail with Harvey K. Anyway, I'm talking about how we did not talk. So I'm finding someone to talk to. And boy, I did. I sent out texts to, I don't know, half a dozen friends. And a handful of them, okay, I probably sent out more than half a dozen because like a half dozen responded. And I got to talk. I texted with a handful, but those who felt like talking, I got on the phone with and I loved it. I loved it. I gave myself what I wanted. Okay, I didn't give it to myself. I got someone else who would help me experience what I wanted. Really, really, really satisfying. I enjoyed it a lot. It was what I needed. I really, really liked it. And then, okay, here's why I'm telling this story. So, oh yeah, I remember what happened. So yeah, one of those guys said, hey, what do you say we go for a hike? And, well, he said that later. We talked for a while. And then he said later, how about a hike? And I was like, all day long. Hello. That's my favorite thing. So, and on that hike, I got to talk to him too, even longer. I'm just having what I want all over the place. Loving, loving, loving it. And then when I came back from that hike, so this is maybe not that much time has passed, like not even 24 hours probably. And when I came back, all of a sudden, you know how this works, right? Did you see this coming from the very beginning? I didn't. I'd written the guy off. I had stopped needing him to talk to me, and I had just talked to someone else. And that guy, all of a sudden, was quite talkative. He was very expressive. He was sharing with me some deep feelings. And they were not just deep feelings like, yeah, you're right. They weren't bad deep feelings. They were good deep feelings. And I really, really liked it. But I was also shaking my head going, I was like, for real? Right after I write him off, then he gives me what I want. But yeah, just like that. You know how often we get what we want after we give up on it? We throw in the towel, we forget about it, we turn our attention elsewhere. Sometimes that's the magic, because as long as I'm looking to him saying, give me what I need, give me what I need, give me what I need, how can he? Because I'm not the vibration of it. But then I turn somewhere else where it's easier to have what I wanted. Instead of to keep that vibration of need activated, I just had what I wanted where it was way easier. And then I'm in alignment for what I wanted from him all along. And, you know, the story he would tell about it is different than the story I tell about it. The story I tell about it is, this is vibration. I found alignment by accident. I just got tired of waiting on him for it and had it somewhere else. And then he's all about it, all about it. And he had a different explanation as to why. He basically got his head on straight, talked to a friend, whatever. I know it was me. I know it was vibrational. Okay, it was probably all of that, because universe fits all these pieces together. It like weaves it all together perfectly. So what fits perfectly into my vibrational situation fits perfectly into his. It's just really cool. Universe is ridiculously resourceful about putting all that stuff together. So anyway, what I was telling to the person who was asking a question about how, you know, my normal spiel, when you need someone to give you something, it's like, well, if you think it's so easy for that person to give you what you want, why don't you try it yourself? Why don't you try it yourself? I'm saying that with the kind of attitude I would never speak to another person that way. I'm speaking to my own self that way, because there have been times when I wanted someone like to whatever, a wide variety of things. And I remember, no one can give you what you're not the vibration of, Jeanette. And I'm like, you think it's so easy to love you, Jeanette? Why don't you prove it? Love your own self for a minute. Why don't you prove it? You think it's so easy to support you? Why don't you give yourself some support? Like, why don't you just show how easy it is for you to receive this? Because more often than not, I've practiced not having it. And so it's not that easy for someone to give it, even if they were even when they are. That's not even an if. That's not even an if. I've seen people trying to give me exactly what I said I wanted, but I couldn't have it because I didn't have that vibration. So what I normally tell people, when you want something from someone else, maybe let them off the hook for it. Try giving it to your own self. But in her particular circumstance, it was easy for me to relate to. Yeah, you really do. I totally get it. You really do want this person to do this particular thing. And I shared my example about how, like I wanted my love interest to be talking to me properly, and he wasn't. So I get it. And it didn't translate perfectly for her. Her situation was different than mine. But I said, worst case scenario, here's where we go, how to give it to ourselves. We identify the feeling. We get to the very essence of the desire of what we want from that person. And we find a way to activate that in our world somehow, just so we have the kind of vibrational alignment that allows that person to even be able to deliver it to us. Because a lot of times we're blocking it without even knowing it. We do that when we are wanting it so bad, because wanting is a different vibration than having. And worst case scenario, you know where else we go? Imagination. That's how we can have it. That's how we can have that person deliver it. And again, there are some who will talk about how this is not a cool thing to do, because when you are imagining a person, and I think Carolyn Smith, I might be quoting her wrong. I think she's known as the Bad Witch online. I had a couple friends who used to quote her stuff. I'm not really familiar with her work, so don't hold me to this quote, but I believe once upon a time she said something along the lines like this, that, she's like, everyone talks about how it's not cool to try to force someone's hand, to manipulate another person into behaving a certain way for you. It's pretty standard practice. Don't do that. That's in witches' circles. Don't do that. But here's what Carolyn's take on it was. She said, whatever. We're already all doing it all day long already. We're already holding pictures in mind of someone doing something. We're doing it automatically. We don't even realize we are. But we are, just as we imagine that our boss is going to be mad because we're late today, or as we imagine that grandma's going to be mad that we didn't stay longer, or whatever it is we're imagining that Harvey's going to be so excited when I tell him we're going for a WALK. I think he can hear me, so I have to spell it. He is that smart. So I just love that dog so much. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, Carolyn's argument is, whatever, we're already doing it. Relax about it. Just use your power for good. Because we're already doing it. We already have expectations of other people. That is an energetic influence on them. So maybe just clean it up a little. Instead of pretending you don't do this, just do it nicer, do it better. Do it more in alignment with what you want. I think she might be onto something with that. But having said that, this was my big disclaimer about our worst case scenario is when there's no other way for us to have what we want. There always is. Just use your imagination. You can experience it, and you can experience anything in your imagination. Anything. I mean, maybe you got to practice a little, but that's what imaginations are for. They can take you anywhere. They can take you anywhere. And it turns out there's a lot of powerful stuff happening there when you do. Okay. Is there anything else I need to say about this? I could maybe try to sum up the points, but I might forget them. So I'm going to leave it here. Whatever you take away from this, I'll let you find your own helpful points in that story. And I'm just shaking my head laughing at myself at how much I know this and practice this. I don't just know this. I practice it. I live it day in, day out. I live this stuff. And still, I surprise myself on occasion when I realize that my vibration practice, my vibration management practice still has room for improvement. But you know what? Better late than never to see some of those things. And hey, and there's something to be said for all of it. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Send a big love your way.